How to layer a center part haircut. That's what we're talking about today. And I want to go over a couple of things about this type of haircut to let you understand when it comes to center part haircuts, sometimes you don't even need to layer the hair, okay? And it really depends on the type of center parting haircut that you have. For example, let's take this one. This is the, kind of traditional undercut where all this is cut underneath and all of this hair falls forward and it's all pretty much one length, okay? This is a type of scenario where you probably don't even need to layer the hair. Creating layers on a haircut like this will just create more fullness, all right? So if you want your hair to lay very, very flat and close to the head, right? You don't want to add any volume, then don't layer it at all. If you are looking to layer the hair, all right, to add some volume to the whole thing, what you need to do is realize that you only have a certain amount of hair to work with or to layer because all of this is disconnected in through here, right? Since it's all disconnected, you're only layering from here to here. So what you need to do is establish a point to cut to see how short you're gonna go. And this is what's gonna happen. Remember, the shorter the layers you cut, all right, let's just say we cut all this hair off and the layers are here. What's gonna happen is this piece of hair that's that short is gonna fall right here and you're gonna have a ledge from here and then all this long hair if you don't blend it properly, or it's just not gonna look right. If the layers are too short, the haircut itself is completely a disaster, okay? It's too late. You don't wanna do stuff like go too short, especially on haircuts like this, on undercuts and things like that. My suggestion is you hold it straight up and you go as close to the ends of the hair as possible to where you think the hair needs a little bit of a trim to clean up the ends. That means this hair will all come down this way and you'll create a little bit of volume just in the areas that's needed. Then what you can do if you want to round this out, you've got your top section. Now here we are at the corners and you're just gonna snip off that little corner right there. And then you can go all the way down to the bottom, pull it straight out like this, and you're gonna snip that. So what you're doing is you're going straight up, this way with the corners, and then this way. So you're really just cutting 3 sections. That's pretty much it. The longer you keep the layer, AKA the length of how short you're cutting the layers, again, if you cut your layers to here, guess what? The hair is gonna fall here, and then it's not gonna work for this type of hairstyle. But if you bring it all the way up to the top and you cut it and say, you know what, I want to create just a little bit of volume in through here, right, just to add some lift to it, that's what you do, is you comb it up, corners and sides. Up, corners and sides, okay? So that's pretty much it for an undercut. And then you want to comb it straight down and you want to always maintain that line, that strength. If you layer the hair wrong, if you cut too much, you're gonna see holes in the hair. It's gonna be very uneven. This is the foundation. The length is the foundation of the haircut. You always wanna have the length looking the strongest. I learned this many, many, many years ago when I was training in a haircutting seminar from a really amazing salon in New York. And they always said the base of the haircut is the most important, which is this. You always want this to be strong, all right? So that's that. Now, let's take another example of a haircut that, say you want to wear your hair a bit longer. Okay, here's a hairstyle on a mannequin to where it's a bit more kind of grungy, okay? It's a bit more edgy, and you want to have some length, you want to have some fullness, some texture through here. This mannequin is completely, hasn't had a haircut, all right? But, and I have dozens upon hundreds of videos on how to layer haircuts. But for the center parting, every time you do a haircut and you're layering the hair, while the hair is styled in the center, everything needs to be brought up and cut while it's on the center, right? Or off the center, all right? So you part the hair right down the middle, and what you do is you cut the hair based off of it being right down the middle. So with any haircut, and I've said this a million times, okay? You've got, let's back up a little bit, you've got the the way I cut hair is the top, the corners, and the sides. All right, let me back up so you can see again. The top, which is here, the corners, which is the roundness of the head, and the sides. There's really just 3 areas of cutting. Once you understand that and you can work that, then you're all set. It's the same thing like I just mentioned. On longer hairstyles, the longer or the further you hold the hair and extend and cut towards the ends, the longer the layers are going to be. So it's going to fall to that spot. The shorter you cut the layers here, and especially if it's going to be a center parting, you're going to have a lot of feathered type of layers. So it's going to look like, you know, some people may want that. But if you cut this too short and you've got all this length, you have to somehow blend this all in because it's going to look awful. It's going to look awful. So what you need to do is, again, go throughout the top, create your center, right, your center cut right there. Then we're going to pull the hair out from where it grows, where the round of the head is, okay? And then we're going to hold on to this and go all the way down to the sides, comb it straight out, and let the bottom fall out. That's the length. And now you've created a perfect rounded shape. Now, if you don't want to create a rounded shape, that's a whole other topic that I've done videos on is, you know, what type of shape do you want? Rounded, square, triangular? That's a whole other thing in itself. That's really advanced haircutting, to be honest with you. And I have done videos on that. But you know, roundness means you're cutting around the head shape. Everything is following. That's how 95% of my haircuts I cut, because to me, I'm going to cut this the way it grows, the hair grows from the head, AKA the most natural. The minute you start manipulating, right, cutting different shapes, it's going to grow out. It's going to lose its shape much quicker. All right. For example, a square haircut is when you comb it straight up and then the sides are not rounded out. It goes from straight up to then straight out like this. So what you're doing is you're leaving the corner very heavy and you're weighing it down throughout here. That's what a square shape is, okay? Triangular shape is when you're over directing and you're pulling everything back where it's going short to long, okay? Short to long is basically a triangular shape because it's going to be going shorter to longer. That's great for narrowing a face shape. It's great for somebody who feels that their face is too round. And then, you know, even if your face is round, cutting it in a rounded shape to me still could work because it really depends on the hairstyle. But if you're wearing a center part, always keep in mind that if the hair is going to be too short, it's going to always fall on your face like this. And if you don't want to be walking around like that, then guess what? It may not be the hairstyle for you, or you just simply don't know how to style your hair properly. Okay, a lot of this comes down to how do you actually style your hair, the products that you use, and the haircut that you have. If you leave some length throughout here for center parting haircuts, you're able to kind of manipulate it and move it out of the way. But again, it has to be cut properly. And then, last but not least, and I think at this point you kind of understand where I'm going with this, is that it's really the same technique for every single haircut, right? This is technically parted in the center, but because of how it's styled, it flows off of center, or it flows off of the middle part. But you can't really see it as much because of how I styled it. But as you can see, right, the hair comes down to here. So that means all of the layers have to be brought up and cut to be balanced to this one point. So wherever the hair falls and drops down, that is how long it has to be cut when holding the layers up. So again, with the center part, it has to be the right length that you can feather it back off the face, right? You can create some sort of look, and it really comes down to you finding that length and what works best for you. To be honest with you, it's what works best for you, okay? If you experiment with your stylist and you find that like cutting it too short never works, then you have to have it longer. It all really is about experimenting. But when it comes to layers, everything, no matter how long the hair is, I follow the same pattern, okay? Center, corners, sides, or top, corners, and sides. If you follow this technique, I keep it as simple as I possibly can. I don't do, handstands while I'm cutting. I don't spend 86 minutes trying to do a, like I'm doing surgery where I'm doing a section where it's like, 3 hours later, I'm just trying to look super cool while sectioning. I don't care about that stuff. Get the job done quickly, efficiently, and make sure that you are following the same pattern. That's it. I mean, it doesn't get any more complicated than that. So please let me know if you found this video helpful. I'd love to know in the comments below. I do sell, if you are curious, I do have my own haircutting combs here, which I do sell on my website, and my custom-made shears. These are 7-inch shears. This is the length of scissors that I use when I cut because to me it covers the most ground while you're cutting, while you're holding the hair out. To me, it covers the most ground and you're able to really get just the right amount of that cut and that coverage with this shear, okay? And I learned about this length many, many years ago when I was still in training. I've tried the super small, the 4.5 or the 5. To me, this is the perfect one because it covers most ground. If you use code YouTube20, that's YouTube20 at shop.thesalonguy.com, 20% off and free shipping on orders over $60 after the discount code in the United States. Let me know if you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.